So here we are, 20 years later. They reconcile, spin the block, and the best she can do is baby mama at her age. This is Dee. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Well, guys, I'm back, and I'm back with what may be an unpopular opinion. But baby, when I heard that Ashanti was pregnant, I was like, you got to be effing kidding me. Now, before I get into it, I will offer this disclaimer. To my knowledge, as of this video, she and Nelly are not married. They are not engaged. So I am going to say what I want to say, what I'm going to say under that understanding. If in fact that is not the case, we find out later, I stand corrected. No problem. I'm wrong. I will say that now in advance. But as it stands, Ashanti, at the age of 43, is expecting her first child with Nelly. You guys, I was just more than anything, I'm sad for her. Actually, I'm embarrassed for her. She and Nelly have been off and on. Well, they've been dealing with each other. They first started dating in 2000 and what 2003. Yeah, 2003. They dated for like a decade, broke up in 2013. They were apart for a decade and they got back together this year. So here we are, 20 years later. They reconcile, spin the block, and the best she can do is baby mama at her age. You know, the other day, what's that little girl's name? Bad Baby. She announced that she was pregnant, 20 years old. And I'm like, Lord, here we go again. One of these young girls pregnant by what? Some random rapper who no one knows. She's worth 50 plus $million. And we all know how that's going to go. And of course, you know, Sexy Red with her crazy ass. She's 25, pregnant by who? God only knows who. But for Ashanti at this stage of the game, it's sad, you guys, to me. It's sad that after all these years, her standards are so low. Her expectations are so low. And for those of you who say, oh, but you know, not everybody wants to be married, blah, 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 you are the problem. You are everything that is wrong with the Black community. Because let's take away the fact that, yeah, both of them, they are rich people. Okay, they are rich, but it doesn't change the legacy, the generational wealth impact that a marriage would have. Another reason I wanted to do this video was an article that I read about the growing disparity between the financial statuses of single people versus married people, the huge disparity that keeps growing. Listen to this, you guys. Listen to this and learn why I feel so passionately about this.
The wealth gap between single and married Americans has more than doubled in the last decade. If you thought the endless swiping and scrolling on dating apps were the worst parts about being single in 2022, then hold on, because there's an even colder reality awaiting you. While one is the loneliest number, it's also, increasingly, the poorest. Though it's not surprising married couples have a higher net worth than singles. Over the last decade, that gap has more than doubled and married couples are pulling out far ahead of singles. Dual earning couples not only are bringing in two incomes in many cases, but also sharing the expenses, food, clothing, shelter, anything. And single women have the added hurdle of the gender pay gap. Over the course of their career, women make about $400,000 less than men, according to the National Women's Law Center, and it's doubly worse for women of color. The burden is all on you. And chances are, you earn less than a man. And chances are you earn less than dual earning couples.
If you are a single woman making good money without a child, you are still, according to this article, behind the eight ball when it comes to wealth in this country. These are the financial realities that so many of us simply do not consider. You know, I look at somebody like Nelly, who recently sold half of his music catalog for $50 million. Now, you know, obviously Ashanti is rich in her own right, but why not get married and cement a legacy of wealth? You're not going to tell me that Ashanti, who is 43 years old and having a baby, does not love this man enough to marry him if he asks. You're not going to tell me that. That's just not true. If she loves him enough after all this time to have her first child with him, she loves him enough to marry him. You think if he got down on both knees and said, "Baby, will you marry me?" Give her a 8 carat diamond ring or whatever, she's going to say no? Of course she's not. This saddens me that someone like her at this age is still acting like a pygmisha, still settling for far less than what she deserves, and still willing to have a baby by a man who will not marry her. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not dogging Nelly. This man has two biological children that he has raised pretty much on his own. He is the primary, I believe, sole parent to his children, as well as the two children of his sister who passed away. So he has basically he raised four children predominantly on his own. So I'm not by any means at all saying that Nelly is some deadbeat dude, baby daddy who's just gonna, not take care of his kids. I'm not saying that at all. So I want to make that clear. The man has raised four children, including two that were not biologically his, pretty much on his own. And that is why I do not understand why at this stage of the game for him, he would not want to put a ring on it. But this ain't no sexy red. This is Ashanti. This is a woman. This is a grown woman, grown woman in her early 40s. Look, if he's good enough to have a baby with, why isn't he good enough to marry? If you're good enough to have a baby with, why aren't you good enough to marry? And for those of you who still somehow kid yourself into thinking that marriage is not important when you have a child, stop it. Women like that, they know that the men they deal with and the men that they have children by will never marry them. Therefore, they say, "I don't want it," because they know they will never get it, at least not from those men. So, you guys, please share your thoughts in the comments on the Nelly Ashanti relationship, her pregnancy at the age of 43. Share your thoughts. I'm curious to know what you think of this. I mean, obviously, I wish her well. Of course, I wish her well. I like Ashanti. I really do. I like them together. I just think she deserves better, y'all. I just think she deserves better. And it makes me sad that she doesn't seem to feel that she deserves better than being a 43-year-old baby mama. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a thumbs it up. Thumbs it up, you guys. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video. So until next time.